Sam Hall, and we're here at Bush and Vine Farm in York, South Carolina. Andy's going to show you some of our strawberries that we grow in tunnels. We have about 5 acres of tunnels, and we grow about 100. We're growing about 175 acres here on the farm, and grow a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. We've been growing strawberries for over 40 years now.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you letting me come and take a look at your farm and show them a little bit about how we do things here in South Carolina.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Sam. Hello, this is Andy Rollins. I'm with Clemson Extension Service, and I'm located here at Bob Hall and Samuel Hall's farm, Bush and Vine Farm, here near York, South Carolina, just outside of York in the Filbert community. Like Samuel had told you, they have about 5 acres of high tunnel strawberries in production. They began picking around the 3rd week of January, had picked about 30 flats out of this one tunnel. These are Albion plants that would have been planted around the 1st week of August, timing wise, and we're going to take a walk through here and see if we can't find some different things to look and to talk about. As a county extension agent, I get the pleasure of scouting and looking at a lot of different strawberry farms here in the area, and trying to help with diseases and problems, and trying to get ahead of the curve on different things. I really enjoy my job. I really enjoy what I do. As you can see here, one of the main things I look for in strawberry production is this, what I call it is up and down plants. So you've got 2 plants here that are clearly much smaller than the surrounding plants. You want to have a more even planting in strawberries, and so that up and down and missing plants is something to look for as an issue. There's several different soil-borne problems we can deal with. Some of them come from the plants themselves, and some of them can be built up in the soil. I know Virginia has a few different issues than what we do. Our main issue that we deal with in these plants, where we have these up and down plants, is primarily Phytophthora, although we can have which is a soil-borne fungal organism that affects the root and can affect the crown of the plants as well. There's also crown anthracnose or Calotoxicum gliosporides that can also kill the crown and look very, very similar to what the Phytophthora looks like. So we have another dead plant right there in that row, and another one adjacent to it that's missing. Like I said, Albion is a good plant for us. It's a pretty large sized plant and produces excellent quality eating, tasting fruit. In several different taste comparison studies, Albion has come out on top as being one of the best tasting strawberries we have available to us. So again, a few more problems here on these fruit. Last time I was here, the plants had a little bit more of an edge effect, and I think maybe the water had gotten just a little bit too dry, and I'm not seeing that now. But because of root issues, they've had to walk that line of being very careful to not overwater, but also not underwater as well. I'm going to find one plant that's declining but isn't all the way dead is what I'm looking for to dissect and take a closer look at. This one here is a candidate, although it might still have a chance to produce a little bit. It's clearly much smaller than its brothers. From the last time I was here, we switched over to primarily a full fruiting cycle. We have some blooms showing up. We're primarily in a full fruiting plant at this point. Not near as many flowers as there was about 10 days to 2 weeks ago. This plant here is a little bit further away and a little bit in worse trouble. I believe this is one of the first ones I'm going to try to dissect for you. Okay, so you can see here, the plant I just dug up and knocked off a few of the roots. You can see very easily that many of these roots are off color and are dark and black and rotted. And so this is a good indication that there is some form of root rot. Until we actually do a test on it, we don't know for sure which rot it is that's causing it. although Phytophthora is by far the most common that we experience here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do a cut through the center of that crown to see if there's anything that's gotten into it, and I'll show you that next. Okay, so as you can see here, there's clearly a rot organism that's gotten into this particular crown and has started to work on it. We're still not sure what's actually gotten in there, but what we're going to do is send these off to a clinic and find out exactly what organism is inside of there. As you can see, Bob's outside production right now we have covered. We're getting down right at freezing nearly every night right now. So we use primarily about an ounce and a quarter row covers to protect. We've got a lot of young flower buds, and at this point we're actually pushing a few flowers. So you got to be really careful with row covers this time of year, because it can actually force out blooms. But right here, 1st of March, we don't mind that, because it does take us about 45 days at this point to go from bloom to fruit. So that puts us about right for beginning production on outside anyway. Hope you've enjoyed your time with me, just showing you a few things here at Bob Hall Farm here near York, South Carolina. Thank you for having me.